The greatest advantage any MMORPG has is the community within it. The ability to make your own stories and roleplay in a world where you aren't the center of everything. Honestly, it's just great seeing how wild and goofy people can be when there's no social boundaries. MMORPGs such as New World are like playing a single-player game in the same world at the same time as thousands of others. Coincidentally, or not so coincidentally, this video is sponsored by New World, but it's truly a sight to behold, watching the utter chaos unfold, especially when a game is new. There's this sense of excitement and possibilities. A simple fetch quest could turn into an epic PvP battle, or someone could start an impromptu dance party. Do you join? Well, of course. I'm sure many people have made genuine friendships because of some kind of shared goal within an MMO, and quite frankly, I rarely talk about or review this type of game. So let's do that.
You're a marauder now!
Wait a second.
So it's time to go on account.
I know that voice.
Torbjorn, ready to work!
That's
Perhaps
Gimli from
one
Lord of the
wants to
Rings.
better than-
It's time to enter a new world. So, what is this? Well, New World is a piratey-themed MMORPG set in a supernatural world. So, you know, yar har fiddle-dee-dee, being a pirate is alright to be. But you don't pay a subscription to play this, just a one-time purchase. And unlike a lot of pirate-themed games, this one is actually good. I went with the purple mustache and whatever this hairstyle is called. Hot. That's what it is. Although I do suffer a -50 to attractiveness, but it's totally worth it. The game starts off with this cool cinematic. A guy in a dope mask sits next to this hooded figure and is like, "Yo, give me that box, I'm about to go sailing. But dog, where you're headed, the ships don't return."
But those who've gone before you have simply vanished, never heard from again.
Who cares? I got a cool mask. Now give me the box.
I saw the horror, the madness that overcame the crew. It was beyond any evil the world has ever known.
Man, I love this guy's voice. So the basic plot is still somewhat mysterious to me. Masked Man goes on a voyage for unclear reasons, and I hope I learn what they are and that it's important somehow, otherwise I will be disappointed. But then, oh crap, Davy Jones found us! He's released the Kraken! Well, good going, asswipe. That box didn't do anything. So you shipwreck on shore in a supernatural island called Aeternum, where for some reason the souls of the living are bound, unable to die. Alright, attack, block, dodge, heavy attack.
And where is my box? I need my box.
This guy in his box, I swear to God.
You take it? You build rat.
Well, he's dead. Good riddance. And he's back.
And where is my box? I need my box.
Bro, what is so important about the box? The combat is pretty straightforward at first, but there's definitely some depth to it. RuneScape and WoW Classic are pretty much the only MMOs I've ever bothered with. Apologies to all the Club Penguin fans out there, but I can't tell you how refreshing it is to have real-time combat. You know, where my attacks don't miss randomly because of numbers and stats. So there's 12 weapon types and each one has 2 skill trees that come with different moves, passive perks. So there's a lot of variety in how you kill stuff. And you level up your weapons just by whacking things. Oh, that sound effect. So satisfying. Since you can hold 2 weapons, you'll definitely want a melee and ranged option to swap between. Every type has a unique moveset. Got your standard sword and shield combo, a giant-ass hammer, bow and arrow. My favorites have been the Great Axe, which gives you this overhead swing that just demolishes people. And of course the Life Staff, which has the best voice lines in any video game ever.
Body!
Fody!
Body! Let's go! Body! Let's go! Body!
Yo, where my Fodies at? God, I love the voice acting. It never gets old. So there's a good mix of melee and ranged combat. This ice gauntlet can summon a little tower that shoots icicles. That's pretty neat. I love the fire staff too. Just burn them to a crisp. At the moment, I think the game might be a little too easy. If you're good enough with the patterns, you can even take on a wolf that's like 5 levels above you. But I guess it is kind of cool that you don't just get annihilated when you're underleveled. In typical MMO fashion, you got a huge overworld to explore. Kill stuff, skin animals like a barbarian, gather supplies, and wait a sec, is that hemp? But on the real, what I noticed quickly was there's a ton of stuff to do in New World. The game introduces you to the crafting system, and holy crap, there's so many trade skills. Woodcutting, mining, smithing, cooking, so many recipes and crafting materials. I'll admit it's a little overwhelming, but the nice thing is you aren't forced to like pick between them or choose what you specialize in. Like the game never says you can only be a fisherman or a leather worker. Pick between one of them. You can choose whatever you want to excel at, focus on that one skill, or branch out and do a little bit of everything. Gotta have good progression in an MMO, and I'm still figuring things out, but it does seem very complex. Nothing more relaxing than stopping to cut some trees, you know? Take in the fresh air, smack some rocks. Just like RuneScape. You know what's really cool? You can hear the echo of someone mining or chopping trees way far away. It makes the world feel big, like other people inhabit it. That's what an MMO needs to be, a living, breathing world. I'm still getting used to all the mechanics, so I haven't settled down on a certain playstyle yet. I think that's what's cool about New World. You're not excluded from playing a certain way. There's no classes or specializations. It's quality of life, man. They even let you respec your attributes until level 20. Thank you. Now I don't feel like I screwed up my character and want to start over. You are so kind. So far, I've absolutely loved the community in this game. Everyone seems just as excited to be playing it as I am.
He's doing it with you.
First person I met out of the tutorial, I just started jumping and then, yeah, you get me. You understand my life story. You can also do this this dolphin dive, like you got PhD flopper. It literally serves no purpose. I love that you can do the stupidest things and people will join in just because. Aside from that, the chat is alive, lots of people asking for advice, this guy complaining about the
Body!
It feels great to be part of a new thing, you know? I hope this game lasts a long time. Also, if you die out in the world, you can still be revived by other players. Thanks, homie. I'm gonna f these wolves up now. The world of Aeternum looks really good, especially in the settlements where it's so much detail and so many things are packed into one area. Although I will say it would make the world feel more alive if NPCs were like walking around it doing things, but for the most part they just kind of stay in the same area. But I love the colors, the tropical yet supernatural vibe. There's destroyed ships everywhere, and that's like an artistic fetish of mine. Dead shipyards. And in some of the towns, these ships are integrated into actual structures. Like this place was filled with water before, and people just happened to show up and build a little community here. This town is filled with so much to do. Little things like grabbing free honey or water every so often. There's tons of people to talk to, quests to find, a billboard of quests you can do to contribute to the town. Yeah, you actually get to improve and level up parts of the settlements. I haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible. I'm just gathering stuff like a hoarder in case I need it. New World has so many cool mechanics, like completing quests and killing enemies will level up your standing in that area. And you get to choose bonus perks like increased storage, more XP, cheaper items from the shops. What you'll quickly notice in New World is throughout your travels, there's something to interact with every 10 feet. It's great. It feels like there's always something new, something to do. There are factions too. And yes, I chose the Marauders because the guy was voiced by Torbjorn. Another unique thing is once you hit level 10, you unlock PvP, but you have a choice to turn it on or off before you leave a settlement. If it's on, you get 10% more XP and can fight any players from other factions. I feel like New World is doing really cool things for the MMO genre. It's almost designed to be accessible in a smart way. Like, you know, in World of Warcraft, I obviously wanted to be in a PvP server, but that doesn't mean I always want to engage in PvP. You know, sometimes I just want to fight AI. But this puts the choice in the hands of the player. and simply leaving the safety of the town now has some risk-reward to it. It's kind of funny, everyone's friendly in the settlements, but once you leave, it's like, now I hate you and your stupid faction. Marauders for life, baby. You know, it's also nice that there's no competition to loot chests or items in the open world. If one person takes it, it doesn't disappear for everyone else. Loot that is dropped by enemies only appears in your version of the game. The game would be so much more tedious otherwise if, you needed to get 10 barley and there's like 50 people waiting around trying to do the same thing. You'd be stuck there with your thumb up your ass for like 30 minutes. It's like, homie, just give me the barley. But again, it's almost like Amazon thought of every way to remove the inconveniences of most MMOs, specifically WoW. All the good stuff in New World is pretty amazing considering I've only explored this one fraction of it. And if my experience in the first 15 hours is only going to get better from here, ooh, Amazon, you will have yourself one fine-ass game. One fine-ass game. Now, if I had to complain, which you know I always do, the combat can feel a bit janky. I guess that's more of a criticism of the genre. Every MMO is janky, except maybe Destiny 2, but Bungie had way more problems to worry about with that. Also, I sincerely hope there's a way to run or travel faster. Sometimes it's nice to travel slowly and take in all the scenery, stop and smell the roses, but other times I'll see an objective like 2 kilometers away and I think, I don't want to run there. I don't want to do that. Certainly doesn't help that fast travel is also tied to some type of currency you get from defeating enemies. But again, downtime and running everywhere is more a critique of the MMO genre because the world has to be open and vast. Now here's the part where I swoon over how great the user interface is. Simple and effective. You see how long buffs last, there's a circle that indicates how close to the max weight limit you are for carrying items. I'm never confused about how long my cooldowns are. This design of separating items into different trade skills is so underappreciated. Rather than having like a single crafting tab where it's just a list of every component used in a trade skill, it's streamlined so you have no problem seeing exactly what you want to. If I want to find all my leatherworking stuff, it's just right there. I don't have to scroll through a bunch of menus. The UI is organized and perfect, and I can't tell you how important that is for an MMORPG when so many wheels are turning at the same time. Simplicity is essential. Even as I write, record, and edit this, I really just want to get back to playing the game and grind out my new addiction. It's especially satisfying early on because you're leveling up everything. Chop a tree, congratulations! And even if you don't know exactly what you'll unlock with these skills, it's satisfying nonetheless. Like, I want to be able to chop down some big-ass trees later. It's going to be interesting to see the in-game economy flourish and being that guy that maybe specializes in making really cool gems or jewels, or being the guy that's like, yo, let me make you some dope-ass armor. But it is a lot of fun experimenting with different weapons and seeing what kind of abilities they have. I find myself swapping playstyles constantly just to grind out a different weapon in case I find a better one and want to unlock its abilities. Of course, the biggest draw for most people to an MMORPG is the grind for loot. Chasing that higher number. God damn it, why do I have to work for a living? Why can't I just be a pirate in New World? I am concerned that the story is going to fall into the typical MMO trope of not being interesting at all. Delivered by expository dialogue and NPCs that have limited animations, which would be a real shame given how provocative the setting is so far. Honestly, the complaints I have for New World are just complaints I have with other MMOs. So make of that what you will. I know 15 hours isn't a whole lot in an MMORPG, but I gotta say, folks, I've been having a blast, and I can't wait to see what else lies around the horizon. And with the potential for future updates that could add new weapons, areas, bosses, etc., there is a great chance New World will stick around for a while. So might as well hop into it now, you know what I mean? So yeah, New World is pretty goddamn awesome right now. But what do you think? Have you tried it out? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. Thanks to New World for sponsoring this video. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Act Man signing out. Peace!